model. According to Baumol, he classifies inventory is nothing but the demand for money. How much of money that people hold for transaction purpose. And William Baumol, he says that people hold money for the purpose of making mere transactions. So there's a difference between Keynes and Baumol. Keynes regarded transaction demand for money it's as a function of income, and it is, of course, it is linear and proportional. But according to Baumol, it is non-linear or non-proportional. In other words, he says that as and when there is a change in the income, the demand for money also changes, but less than in proportion to income. So according to Keynes, the transaction demand for money is basically interest inelastic, but Baumol analysis that it is interest elastic, because like for example, like when you hold more money, when you feel like you don't get any return for your savings, like for example, assume that if the bank is going to give you a less interest for your savings, then in that case you don't prefer to save money in the bank, rather you tends to consume, because the saving in bank is not going to yield you any purpose, so you tends to hold money just for making transactions. Fine. So Baumol analysis is based on the holdings of the optimum inventory of money for transaction purpose, which is being held by the a firm or even an individual. And how he states, it's a cash balance, which is nothing but the inventory of money which an individual or a firm holds, and at the same time they are ready to exchange that money for the purchase of anything. Fine. So normally income and expenditure will not take simultaneously, so it will take some time for an individual to spend his income. So what happens, he will be holding huge, if you take for example the firm will be holding huge amount of capital in the form of cash balance, right? And it is again, if it is going to invest in bank or any other thing, or even in securities for that matter, it should yield him some profit. So the alternative, the firm or an individual to hold the money, they will just go for a there is investing in the bonds, because normally when you take bonds, it is nothing but the securities. Bonds will basically yield you more interest, so we can say it is interest elastic. So in order to maximize the interest from these assets, what the firm will do, they will just keep some minimum transaction balances. In the sense, when the rate of interest is going to be higher for the bonds they purchase, naturally what will happen, they will invest more on bonds, and they will hold very less money for transaction purpose. Fine. Suppose, for example, assume that a firm receives y dollars per time, it is for a period of a year, assume. And what he will do with that dollar of income, he will spend it at a constant rate over the period. That means throughout the time period he has to spend that income in order to meet his expenses. And for a firm, when it will be profitable, when the firm invests in bonds which can yield them more interest in returns, rather than keeping it idle for transaction purpose. Fine. Now assume the firm has got like $1,200 in the beginning of the year, and with this $1,200 it has to spend this $1,200 at a constant rate every 4 months over the year, like for 3 time periods, assume. Now out of the amount for the first time period, that is for T, it will keep $400 in cash, that is for transaction purpose. And what the firm will do, it will invest the remaining $800, that is out of 1200, 400 it will use it for meeting the transactions, and the remaining $800 it will invest in the bonds. And that bonds, how it will invest, see, one third of the bonds, that is from the 800 amount of worth of dollars, the firm what it will do is, within a period of, that is first 4 months, it will spend that $400 which it is holding in terms of cash. Then after 4 months, that is assume that from January to December, so January, in the beginning of the year, it is holding 1200 cash. From that 1200 cash it is actually having 400 to meet its transaction, meet the transaction, and 800 it is investing in bonds. So from January till April it has got money with it to spend. By the time of April, it again, the money 400 will be exhausted, so it needs money. So what the firm will do, out of that 800 worth of bonds, the 400 worth of bond, that is one third, will just get matured after 4 months. In the sense, by the time of April, one third will of the amount will just get matured, and it will take that 400, right? So the bonds will be matured so that it will be converted into liquid cash, and with that 400 it will use it for the remaining, that is from May, June, July, August. So till August it will use it, the remaining 400. So another 400 is there, right? Because 800 rupees it invested on bonds. So 400 it got matured in the month of April, and the remaining 400 will just get matured in the month of August. So from August, that is September, October, November and December, the remaining 4 months it will spend with the last 400. So likewise, the entire money is being used till the end of the time period, and again by the end of the period, if you say by December, all the money will be exhausted. So it will again start the transaction right from the new year, again freshly. Okay, this is how the Baumol's inventory model has been determined. Now, for example, so if you just see the diagram says that, we have t is equal to 0, and we have first one third of the time period, 2/3 of the time period, and T1, that is from T0 to T1, the total time period, how much of money is being invested in terms of cash and bonds. So the total amount, as per the example, we have 1200. Out of 1200, 400 just leave it aside, the 400 we are having it for cash, for meeting the transactions. So out of that 800 it is investing in bonds. So from that 800 rupees it is invested in bonds, which will actually get matured by the, that is one third time. Okay, the first time it will just get matured, and that will be utilized for meeting the remainder one third to two-third time period. Then again from by two-third time period the remaining 400 will just get matured. Okay, so based on these assumptions, the firm will just invest in bonds in such a way that the entire time period is being utilized. Now, what is another thing in Baumol's transaction is, see, assume that you are investing in bonds, fine, you are getting an interest. But don't you think at the same time, when you are getting interest, for every time when you are withdrawing the amount, that is the bonds, when you are just taking, you have to pay some brokerage commission also, right? So according to Baumol, the holding of cash balance will actually consist of interest cost and non-interest cost. What is this interest cost? When you are investing in bonds, you will be getting an interest. That is the interest cost or the opportunity cost, what you are getting. Suppose if you don't invest in bonds, you are foregoing that interest. So that is the interest cost. Okay. Non-interest cost is what? You are actually will be incurring some amount on brokerage fee, mailing expenses, then bookkeeping expenses. For what purpose? For converting all these bonds into cash. Fine, and vice versa, whatever it is. So A firm, whenever it holds money for transaction purpose, it will also incur both interest cost and non-interest cost. Non-interest cost is nothing but the brokerage fee. Now, assume that R is the rate of interest. I have given as R bar, which means that it remains constant over the year, assuming that there is no change in the rate of interest. And B is the brokerage fee, which also remains constant. Now, beginning of the year. So Y is the income, the total income, whatever you have with you, which you are going to use it for to meet your transactions. And we have a constant called as K. Now, what is this K? It is the size of each cash withdrawal at intervals. That means whenever you withdraw some amount of bonds. So how many times? Now in our example, we are withdrawing 2 times. Okay, that is after a period of 4 months and after a period of 8 months. So 2 times we are withdrawing the bonds. So that means K is equal to 2. Fine. So thus we have Y by K is the total income by the number of withdrawals. The cost on the brokerage fee during the year will be, so we can say that brokerage fee is B of Y by K. Why we say like that? Since the average cash withdrawals on the, it is K by 2, because for in our example we are withdrawing 2 times, so it is K by 2. And the interest cost of holding this cash balance is, interest is represented as R. So R into K by 2. So the total cost of making transactions, C, we can reference as C. So that C can be written as, this is interest cost. R into K by 2 is interest cost plus non-interest cost. That is B into Y by K is non-interest cost. Take this as equation 1. Now the optimal value of K is that which minimizes the total inventory cost. So when you have too many withdrawals, every time you withdraw the bonds, you take the bonds from your thing, every time you have to incur the non-interest cost. So the brokerage fee, if it is going to be more than the interest what you are going to get from your investment, if it is going to be high, then it is not going to yield you any profits. So what Baumol's argument is, you have to see to that either you invest more amount in bonds, so that whenever you withdraw, or whenever you that is that matured, whenever you are taking the bonds which is being matured, that time the brokerage fee remains constant. So how much of money you are going to invest, whether you invest 10,000 or whether you invest 1 lakh or 10 lakh, the fee amount is the same. It is not based on your investment. So when the brokerage fee is the same, assume that the brokerage fee is 1,000 rupees. So for 1,000 rupees for one withdrawal means, if you are going to hold 10,000 rupees in bonds, so 1,000 rupees for 10,000 one, it is very high. But at the same time, 1,000 rupees for 1 lakh, it is going to be less comparatively. So what Baumol's argument is, you have to withdraw. So the withdrawal, first of all, it should be lesser. So you do lesser times of withdrawal, or you have more amount in the bonds, so that the brokerage fee will be less than the interest cost. You understand? So the interest whatever you get from the amount of investment will be high. So that is what Baumol's argument is. And by differentiating this C with respect to K, if you take dC by dK is equal to what? R into K by 2. So which are doing with reference to K nala by K, plus B into Y by K by K. So dC by dK will be K and K gets cancelled. So that comes to R by 2. Okay, minus, when you are differentiating, it will become minus By by K into K. When you reciprocate it, it will become K square, which is equal to 0. Or in other words, I can say that R by 2, when you just take it to the right hand side, this will be By by K square. So now multiply both the sides by 2K square by R. So when you multiply it, 2k square by r into, already you have r by 2, which is equal to 2k square by r into by k square. So k square gets cancelled. Here r and r gets cancelled. 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So finally what is left over will be k square is equal to 2 by r. Or in other words, I can say k is equal to square root of 2 by r. Now take this as equation 2. Now what is this equation 2 tells you? It shows that if the brokerage fee increases, the number of withdrawals will decrease. Why? Because see, we assume that when you are going to pay more for the brokerage, you naturally don't withdraw very often. So when the brokerage fee is high, the withdrawal will decrease. In other words, the withdrawal decrease in the sense the optimal cash balance will increase because the firm will invest less in bonds. Because when the brokerage fee is very high, you don't tend to invest more on bonds. So you rather, what you will do, you feel like keeping the cash idle with you itself to meet your transaction. On the other hand, if the rate of interest on bonds is going to raise, then the firm will find it profitable to invest in bonds. And because the optimum cash balance will be, then that case it will be lower. Why? Because is, and for the investment which you are doing it on bonds, when the rate of interest is going to be high. So when the rate of interest is going to be high, the brokerage fee whatever you are going to pay will comparatively, if you see, it will be very lesser. So you don't feel the pain in withdrawing because you are getting a good returns. Okay, so this is what Baumol's analysis, and he basically concentrates on the demand for transaction balances. Okay, so finally what Baumol is saying, see, when a firm or an individual purchase large number of bonds, means then he will hold only very less transaction money for transaction purpose, and vice versa. Similarly, when every purchase is going to involve non-interest cost, that means brokerage cost is going to be very high now, then in that case the firm will actually reduce the number of withdrawals. Okay, higher the rate of interest, whenever you are going to pay high the rate of interest, the larger the expenditure which a firm can absorb in making bond purchase. So when the money involved in transaction, if it is going to be high, then as I said earlier, when you are going to pay one, that is, when you are going to invest 1 lakh in bonds, naturally the brokerage fee whatever you are going to pay for that 1 lakh bonds will be comparatively lesser. So what Baumol is saying, instead of investing a very less amount on investment in bonds, you either have more amount of investment in bonds or have less amount of withdrawals. Okay, or in other words, if the interest rate is going to be very less for you, there is no point in investing in bonds, and it is better to keep idle cash balance to meet your transaction. So this is what is totally, in fact, partner, Baumol's inventory model. So inventory, he basically says that the amount or the stock of money what the individual or the firm willing to hold in hand. Okay, so this is what that is a real cash balance. Fine, this is what is Baumol's argument is, and it is being considered superior over the classical and the Keynesian approach. Why? So just go through the model, and if you have any doubts, just clarify your doubts and you can contact me. Fine, thank you children.